So, Coach, it's time for me to get smarter, and it's time for our fan base to get smarter. Take us through some of these successful plays. You got 3 that you want to show us. What I really want to learn is when things go right, you're going to point out, okay, this had to happen, this had to happen, this had to happen. Take us through that.
Sure. Well, here we're on first down here. We're in the red zone against New England here in the preseason, and we're at the 7-yard line. And this was a situation here where we got down here in the preseason on first down. We were going to try to throw the ball into the end zone. In this case, we used a double move with both slot guys and both outside guys, and New England ended up bringing blitz 0.
So can I ask you a question
Sure.
right now? When you got your slot that far in, it gives you a lot of room to work with both ways, right?
It does.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, and I mean, there's other things that happen defensively, how they want to adjust the splits and things like that we can try to use as an advantage. It doesn't happen all the time, but this is a case where it did. So we go ahead and we get into a condensed split, and they're playing off with their secondary players. They ended up bringing 6 guys on the rush. We had 6 guys in protection, and the good thing here that happened is their safety that was shown in the middle of the field, he really has the back. So when Gary steps up for protection, this guy moves over to this side and really opens up a window in this area for Richie, who's running a double move. These guys are running out goes down near the goal line, and these guys are kind of running little nod routes, if you will. And Richie actually gets kind of stuck outside of 33 here and just does a really good job of adjusting on the route and creating space for Tyrod. It's good protection up front. We're all, we get a hat for a hat. Tyrod moves just a little bit, and I think he feels this guy, but does a nice job of finding the open player there against 0 coverage.
So you got a window. You talk about the window that was created, but it's cause and effect because when Gary steps to his right, the safety's eyes are immediately on his responsibilities.
That's
right?
exactly right.
So then that opens up a window.
Right into this spot right here. We got one-on-one matchups outside if we like them on the, we call them out goes. But I think Tyrod does a really good job of seeing this safety. Look, sometimes they hug rush and there's an extra guy and you got to get out quicker. In this case, he stayed back to try to help out on the pattern. He does a really good job of just going to open space, not leaning too far in where this guy has the potential to make the play.
Now this is from the end zone look, correct?
Yep, this is the end zone.
So when we talk about the safety's eyes, you see the safety's on the back. He slides there. If you freeze it, there's your window, right?
There it is right here.
Yep.
It's good to see. All these guys come down and celebrate with their teammates. It's not just the person throwing it or the person catching it. It takes all 11 guys usually on offense to make a play successful.
And the quarterback on this particular play, he knows he's reading the safety once he gets the look he needs, right?
Yeah,
so,
he saw it was blitz 0, which everybody's got a man, and now it's just where's that safety going to be? Is he going to add to the rush, which makes us throw it even quicker, or is he going to cheat to the player that he has in this case, who was the tailback?
Got it. All right, let's go to the next play.
Sure. I thought this was really a good play here by Antonio Williams, who is playing our 5 spot, I believe. We're coming out at half. I didn't think we were played particularly well in the first half in the kicking game, well enough. And I thought this was a good tone setter, getting them really down inside the 20. So it's just a 5-by-5 kickoff. And a couple things really stand out is really these 5s right here. They're flying down there along with McFadden, who folds back as a 4. Doing a really good job, these 2 players, of beating the blockers to the kick side. And Roche does a really good job of walling it off inside, funneling back into these players who are coming down here. They do a good job avoiding the blocks, and really a good hit by Antonio. We like him to keep his head up and not lead with it, but these guys do a good job of getting to the ball, and this is a tone setter play, and you can see the excitement from 21.
The 5s are normally your disruptors, right?
No doubt about it.
Like in the old days, the 5s used to be called the wedge busters because they get down there and they disrupt everything. Now that's disjointed, they get an opportunity to kind of weave in and out of that.
That's exactly right. And, if one guy hits his lane, the other guy replaces to his lane. Just really good job by the 3 of these guys getting down here inside the 20. And a small, over here, Roche of doing what he's supposed to do on this play for us to set up a gang tackle there on a 16-yard line. and put our defense in good field position. And we talked about complementary football, earlier in the show, and this is a great example of that. The special teams helping out the defense.
So I was once a L5 and L4. So did that make me tough and fast, or just crazy?
Probably a little bit of all three. Yeah. And the rules
really
have certainly
did have to
changed.
be.
The rules have certainly changed with the wedges and things like that. But just a really good play to start the second half to put our defense in good field position.
All right, now let's take a look at the defense. What did you like about the defense?
On this play, yeah. So again, when you're watching tape, usually when you're an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, you're always watching it from the end zone view. And I just think it's a good example here to take a look at it from the sideline view, because really football is about the line of scrimmage. I think this is just a really good example of really similar to the Roche play and a special teams play, where Fox does a really good job of setting the edge and forcing it back to his help. And I think we're doing a good job of firing off the ball and playing with our hands and resetting the line of scrimmage, where these second level players, these linebackers, or these safeties can do a good job of flowing, hitting their gap responsibility, and making a play to put them in a negative situation on 1st and 10. But it all really starts on the edge with us, of setting the edge and trying to force it back to our help inside.
And a lot of people, when people hear set the edge, does that mean, he just has to be outside? Or does it mean you have to separate and be able to make a play once you set the edge?
No question. A little bit of both here, Carl. Like this, we want this guy to get as much knockback as he can while being under control. If he needs to shed and make a play, he can shed and make a play. But as you can see, look, our outside linebackers work extremely hard at this technique of forcing that ball back inside. The easiest yards to get as an offense is you just take it and run around the edge. You get 5, 6, 7 yards. So, not getting reach, playing these blocks. In this case, they're just reach blocks with the offensive line zone blocking. And I think Fox just does a really good job here.
And there is a correlation, too, here, because as you see the running back head straight towards Fox, as soon as Fox's head shows, he has to turn it back in. He knows there's nothing to go, going outside.
That's exactly right. Most of the time on these outside zones that offenses are running, that edge player is their read. So if this guy gets reached, he's going to go around the edge. If there's an edge set like this guy's got to make his decision usually after the third step, and make a cut to get it north and south. And this is where these linebackers and their gap responsibilities have to fall in. And these guys up front, you can see right here at the nose spot, he's getting reached a little bit. He's on a backside shade, but he's really taking up 2 blockers so he can help this second level guy out. You got 2-on-1. One of our guys should be free.
And one guy runs right through the hole there.
That's exactly right. We're always being alert to the boot with our backside guy with this quarterback coming out.
And it's all complementary football. When you look at it here, the edge is set. 43 is sitting right in the hole, the cutback lane.
Yep.
And you've got your defensive tackle occupying 2.
That's right. We got a force player coming down into that C gap with our safety. So again, it all starts at the line of scrimmage, whether it's blocking the blitz zero that New England showed or winning up front with our defensive line and their offensive line. That's where the game is played, and that's why it's so important, those pieces that we have in place to play well.
Now, this is not a read and react defense either, right? It's get hands on and push back.
That's exactly right. Knock back. Yep.
Change the line of scrimmage.
That's exactly right.
So safe to say, by the virtue of the way 43 just runs through, that line of scrimmage has been reset.
That's exactly right. And I think he just makes a good instinctive player, McFadden, of, see ball, get ball. When you got this big open space in here, I think he just makes it a really good play and a good wrap-up tackle on both legs.
But if his defensive lineman is back in his lap, he can't make that.
That's exactly right. And resetting the line of scrimmage is really important for us.